someone that you are having a dialogue with. All right. Now, the next obstacle class is what we call imposition. So, imposition, this is about controlling someone, no, holding one's own opinion, values, attitudes, and oneself without regard for those of another. Meaning to say, imposition, you are trying to control someone. You do not have any regard about his or her preferences because yung gusto mo kasi dito sa imposition, ikaw yung nasusunod palagi. It is telling the other how he or she should act, behave, and respond to things. So here, someone is a controller. No, you are being controlled. The person is telling you that you should act this way. You should respond to the situation this way. So parang sinasakal ka dito. Dito sa imposition, someone is trying to control you. So there are people, class, in a relationship or individuals that they are like dictator. They are like dictator. They're like dictators. So they want to dominate the relationship. They want to control someone. Like, okay, this is what I want, so you should do this. So that is imposition. No, imposition. Someone is trying to control you. So this is an obstacle to dialogue class because of course, if someone is trying to control you, then it's like they are suppressing your freedom. You don't have the freedom to do what you want, to respond to situations the way you prefer, right? Now, the opposite of imposition is unfolding. When we say unfolding, this is about, it constitutes finding in the other that disposition toward what one recognizes as true, good, and beautiful. It involves seeing the other as a unique, singular individual capable of freely actualizing himself or herself. Now, in unfolding class, you see your partner or someone you are having a relationship with as a unique individual, as an individual who is capable of doing great things, capable of actualizing himself or herself. So you are trying to support someone, or someone is trying to support you. So in imposition, someone is trying to control your actions. But here in unfolding, someone is helping you to become the best version of yourself, and he will support you in whatever you are going to do. And let's go back. We have 3 obstacles to dialogue. First is seeming. Seeming, it's about pretending, no? Being someone that you are not because you want to impress someone. So that is seeming. Now, the opposite of seeming is being, no? Being your real, authentic self. Number 2 is speechifying. So speechifying, it's like hearing what one says, but you are not listening to what he or she is saying, no? Hearing without listening. And then the opposite of speechifying is personal making presence. It's about fully opening yourself to another. And the third obstacle is we have imposition. No? Imposition, trying to control someone. And the opposite of imposition is unfolding. No? Supporting someone, seeing an individual as a unique being capable of doing great things, capable of actualizing himself or herself. Now let us discuss the art of loving according to From 1956. But first, I want you to reflect on this question or answer this question. What does love mean to you? Okay, so what does love mean to you? Love is happiness. Love is being with the one you love, being with a person who became your weaknesses and your foundation of strength, right? So I don't know what is love for you, but for me, love is happiness, peace, and what else? Love is my family, love is my friends, love is God, love is the people I love and value. Anyway, whatever your definition about love, feel free to put it down in the comment section. I'll be reading all of those. Okay, so according to The Art of Loving by From 1956, we give more importance to being loved than to loving. Is this true? Do you agree that that an individual or persons or human beings, we give more importance to being loved. So it's like we want to be loved. We focus on being loved rather than to loving. As for my case, I feel like I focus on loving. Grabe, minahal ko na talaga lahat, even those people that aren't unavailable. Char. Yun nga. And then we have here, people think that to love is easy. And what is difficult is to find the right person to love or be loved by. Is loving easy? Yeah, it's easy to love. Or maybe it is not. And then we confuse the initial falling in love with a permanent state of being in love. So there are individuals when they fall in love for the very first time, they give it their all. Like they feel like, oh my god, this is it. This is the love I wanted. This is true love. So it's like you confused initial falling in love with a permanent state of being in love. I feel like, in my opinion, being in love is so easy, but then staying in love is hard. Like when you love someone, staying in love in that relationship is not going to be an easy thing to do, especially that there will be problems, there will be trials that you will encounter along the way. So staying in love in that relationship is very challenging and it's really hard. So this is probably the reason why there are persons or there are couples who, you know, they break up or they broke up because they cannot endure the trials. But you know, accordingly, true love conquers all. The experience of love begins from the experience of loneliness, meaning we love because we experience being lonely. And when I say loneliness, it's one of the most basic experiences of the human being because of self-awareness. Now let us talk about how people deal with loneliness. Now, how do you deal with loneliness? If you are lonely, what are the things that you love doing to somehow forget, even just for a while, the loneliness that you are feeling? Feel free to put your answer in the comment section down below. But here we have the ways by which people address loneliness. The first one is escapism. When you say escapism, it's more of like drinking alcohol. Very common. When you drink alcohol, they said that you forget your problems. But when the effect of alcohol wears off, or your problems are there. They are back, right? And next is conformity with groups. So there are individuals, when they experience being lonely, they join organizations, group, club, or fraternity to find new friends or to somehow forget about their loneliness. And then the last way is creative and productive work or activity, planning, producing, and seeing the result of a hobby, pastime, or passion. Or maybe traveling and visiting new places. So this is my preferred way of dealing with loneliness. But this will, take, of course, if you have money. If you are lonely, okay, let's go to Paris. Let's go to other country and, just chill. But then, of course, that would require huge amount of money. But you can also do the things that you love doing when you are lonely. For example, you have this hobby of listening to music, playing the guitar, or maybe reading a good book. So that's also a very good way of dealing with loneliness. And if you experience being lonely, class, please do not keep that loneliness. But you are free. You have the freedom to talk about it with your friends or your parents or whoever it is that you have a genuine relationship with, and you know that you can genuinely open your problems and your loneliness to this person. That is really a big help, and that is so important when you have someone that you know that you can trust, and someone that you can really get along with and can really help you deal with your loneliness. Okay, now let's move on. Let us talk about the essential characteristics of love. Accordingly, love is historical, total, eternal, and sacred. So when we say historical, love is historical. Other is a concrete particular person with her own being history. So when you love someone, class, the person you love has his or her own history. You do not love a person with a blank page. But then that person has a past. So you have to love or accept the past of that person. Next is love is total because a person is indivisible, meaning when you love someone, you love them as who they are, the whole of them, the totality of them. You just don't love their good side, but also you have to love their bad side, or you have to accept their flaws and maybe help them on how to improve that side of them, because you do not love someone, oh, he's so guapo or he's so good looking. So you do not just love someone because of his looks, because of his money or career, but you love him as a total human being, right? Next is love is eternal because love is not given only for a limited period of time. So when you love it should be eternal. Like, it should not be conditional. You should love someone forever, for eternity, right? So you do not just love a person because ang gwapo pa niya ngayon kasi ano pa siya, he's so young, so love ko pa siya. What if mag-old na kayo, magiging matanda na kayo, so hindi mo na siya love? So hindi dapat ganun. Next is love is sacred. Because in love, persons are valuable in themselves. So love, class, is really sacred because we as human beings, we are creation of God. Like God created us, so that's why we are sacred. So we have dignity, we have value. So we must love an individual as a person. We treat him as a person, not as an object. So that would be all for our discussion. But before we end our session, let's have a quick recap first. So today we learned about intersubjectivity. When we say intersubjectivity, it is a what? Interchange of thoughts and feelings, facilitated by empathy. We also discussed about social and interhuman. When we say social, it refers to a group of people. When we say interhuman, this is about the individual relationship. When we say the two types of relationship, we have the I-it relationship and the I-thou or the I-you relationship. And when we say I-it, class, in this kind of relationship, you treat an individual as an object. That's why it's called I-it. That's why it's called it, because it refers to object, no? So this is not a genuine kind of relationship. This is not a monologue. This is not a dialogue, but rather it is a monologue. And we also have the I-thou relationship. So this is a genuine type of relationship. This is a kind of relationship that we should be having, because here you are treating each other as equal human beings with dignity. And of course we have dialogue. So when we say dialogue, it's a genuine relationship with other people. And we also talk about the obstacles to dialogue. First is we have seeming. Seeming is pretending in order to impress someone or people. And then we have speechifying. This is about hearing without listening. And then we have imposition. This is controlling someone. We also talk about the characteristics of love. We have four characteristics of love. We have love is historical, love is total, love is eternal, and love is sacred. So that would be all for today's video. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, grade 11 Emerald. Until next time, may God bless and reward you. Bye!